Hello, welcome to True Crime Wednesday. This is Filthy Ketchup, aka Melanie. Today we are talking about female predators and we are using three famous cases as an example. There are women out there that abuse children, and it's a very sensitive subject, something that personally sickens me. I hate talking about it. The only reason I wanted to point these cases out and to point this out is so that people are aware of that these things happen. Women do prey on children. The three cases that I'm talking about today, we've got Rebecca Holloway from the UK who abused her own children and was helping her boyfriend to find other children to abuse. We've got Karla Homolka who got away with three murders. Now, Rebecca Holloway is a young mum from the UK. She was about 26 years old. She actually abused her own children and she encouraged her boyfriend to, and her and her boyfriend were actually looking for other children to abuse when they were apprehended. Karla Homolka was a ride or die bitch from St Catherine's in Toronto that at the age of 21 she was encouraging her then boyfriend Paul Bernardo to rape young girls, specifically young girls, because that's what turned her on. She was the instigator of those rapes. She filmed those rapes. But when her boyfriend Paul Bernardo started talking about her little sister, he had a crush on her little sister, she accidentally on purpose killed her little sister. And when you look at the forensic evidence of how Kristen French and Leslie Mahaffey died, she tried to say that basically the evidence shows that she suffocated Leslie Mahaffey and she beat Kristen French to death. That's, to cut a long story short, that's basically how they died. She knelt on Leslie Mahaffey's back and pushed her head into the pillow to suffocate her. It's a method of suffocation known as burking, after Burke and Hare, the famous Scottish murderers who were murdering people so that they could sell their corpses to medical students back in the 1800s. So she suffocated Leslie Mahaffey. She overdosed her little sister, Tammy Homolka, with an overdose of halcyon and halothane, and Kristen French, she beat her to death with a rubber mallet. All of these three young girls posed a threat to her relationship with Paul. That is why they died. She managed to get away with all three of these murders and served a 12-year sentence in Canada. She's now free. She's got three children. She married her lawyer's brother and, she had a happy ending. The case of Karla Homolka in particular highlights the difference between how men and women are viewed in the criminal justice system. Women are viewed as less evil than men, even when the evidence suggests otherwise. When you take out the he said, she said of the Karla Homolka and Paul Bernardo case, the evidence says unequivocally that Karla Homolka killed those girls. That's it, right? She got away with it because she was a woman. The Melissa Huckaby case. Melissa Huckaby was a Sunday school teacher who lived in a trailer park, and there was a beautiful young girl living in that trailer park called Sandra Cantu. She was 8 years old. Now, Melissa Huckaby was bipolar and she took diazepam, benzodiazepines, to control that bipolar, and she was saving up her medication and she was dosing people with it. The murder of Sandra Cantu was something she had been building up to for a long time, and she called her over to the car, Sandra Cantu, and she said, "Do you want to come to the church?" And we basically kidnapped her, took her to the church. She put chloroform on a cloth and put it over her face, and when the little girl was passed out, Melissa Huckaby raped her. Sorry, it's just sickening. It's sickening and disgusting and evil. She then suffocated her, put her body into a suitcase and dumped it. The reason Melissa Huckaby was apprehended and arrested was because she made herself so obvious to the investigation. She put the police in a situation where they had no choice but to investigate her. I firmly believe that if Melissa Huckaby had just kept quiet and stayed in the background, she would have got away with that heinous crime. It was thanks to her mental illness, thank God, that she was apprehended and arrested, and we even know about that case. I personally think that these cases are the tip of the iceberg when it comes to abuse of children. It makes sense. It makes sense that male perpetrators have to have female accomplices. You are more likely to trust a woman. There's also the Vanessa George case, that we had in the UK. Vanessa George was a female predator who worked in a nursery, but because she was a woman, nobody questioned what she was doing until it was too late. We have to, when it comes to safeguarding children, we have to see everybody as a potential suspect. Everybody is a potential suspect. That's how we have to see it. And equality for men and women means sharing equal responsibility. The case of Karla homolka in particular just highlights how a clever and ruthless woman can play the system and pretend that they're not as evil as men, even when there's black and white evidence that says otherwise. We have to be aware that it's not only men that are dangerous to children. One of the ways we can do this is by being aware of the tactics that predators use. Always check your children's social media. Make sure you know everything they're doing online, who they're talking to, what they're saying. Make sure you have absolute control over their social media. Also, in your everyday life, if anyone's taken too much of an interest in your children, even if it's a woman, be aware. Female predators are out there, and the volume of abuse and missing people and missing children, this can't only be men. Thank you for listening. This is Filthy Ketchup. Make good choices.